So I'd like to call.
One
No,
moment, Bill, I'm
I'm
just
sorry, Mark.
initiating.
I'm sorry.
Okay, Bill.
Ready to go? Okay, so we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and Sal Alessia, why don't you lead us? You got to take yourself off mute. Okay, here you go.
Pledge allegiance to the
To the
flag
flag
of
the
the United States of America and to
to
the
the
republic
republic for which it
for which
stands,
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Sal. All right, as you know, first of all, welcome back from the summer. I hope everybody had a good and enjoyable summer. As is our procedure, the public portion comes first. The board members do not speak during the public portion, and the public can bring up issues. When we close the public portion, the public will not be able to speak anymore, and it will only be a board meeting. Only the board members can opine on the different issues we'll be talking about. So from the public, Marnie, you got it.
Excuse me, this is Sonia. Bill, could we take a moment of silence for
We're
9/11,
gonna do that
please?
during the meeting. This isn't the meeting yet. We're
Sorry?
gonna do that during the meeting, Sonia.
Okay,
Yeah, I already have it. Thank you for reminding me, but I have it.
okay, thank you.
You got it.
Hannah Wienerman, if you would just unmute yourself.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. I hope you've all had a lovely summer. I just wanted to get some federal updates. Hurricane Ida obviously impacted a lot of folks in Southern Brooklyn, so I just have some resources available. So first, if you want to report damage to your property, you can do so by going to FEMA's disaster assistance. You can go to disasterassistance.gov, or they have a phone line that's 1-800-621-3362. That's open from 7 to 1 a.m. I'll put all this in the chat. For small businesses, homeowners, renters, and nonprofits, folks are eligible for low interest loans to help repair any physical damage or economic injuries incurred by small businesses or nonprofits because of the hurricane. So you should register at disasterassistance.gov and then apply with the SBA for disaster loan assistance. The last thing is that there's tax relief available to Ida victims. So some tax payments that were due after September 1st, like October 15th, if you got an extension on your 2020 tax return, those are all now due January 3rd, 2022. And again, I'll put all the information in the chat. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me or the office, and I'll put all that information. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Hannah.
Is there anyone else that would like to address the board?
Okay. Hearing none. I'd like to-
Wait, we do.
We have one?
Yes,
Okay.
Isis Green.
Yes. Hi, this is Isis McIntosh Green. I interfaced with some of you before. I'm Deputy Director of the Independent Redistricting Commission and just had a presentation to share regarding the upcoming redistricting process, which is just the redrawing of course, the congressional. Perfect. And it looks like one of your commissioners so is actually on. And so really just wanted to draw your attention to September 15th, which is next week, when we will be releasing our district maps, which were drawn by the commissioners and will also be released online. And so I would encourage you all, if you're not already signed up on our website, that's nyirc.gov. And you can just sign up to create an account, and then you'll receive the alerts once the maps go live. And of course, if you have any testimony to send, you can send that to submissions@nyirc.gov to sign up to testify or to submit written testimony.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Isis. Anybody else, Morning?
Yes. Tom John.
Hello, good evening. My name is Tamby John. I'm from the library, Newtrick location. Just basically want to say very quickly, many thanks to all of you for your support. I always say it, but it's very, very, very thankful. I'm very thankful for all of your support. Basically, the library wants to let you all know that we are open with expanded hours. Every location is open from Monday through Saturday. You can, there's seating, there's browsing, there's holds pickups, there's library card signups, there's print on demand. We're doing outdoor programming. We're doing reference assistance. We have public restrooms available. The library is open Monday through Saturday. We are currently working on Sunday hours, so stay tuned. That's coming soon. So we are even expanding to Sundays as well. One major note, we wanted to mention that the library is having an open call for collaboration. You can get up to $10,000 to partner with us to implement some new ideas. We're looking for community partners to submit letters of interest by September 20th of 2021. If you are interested, send an email to incubator, that's INCUBATOR @brooklynlibrary.org. If you're interested in partnering with us, as I said, it's a $10,000 grant. So if you're interested, please let us know by the 20th. The library is also offering mobile vaccine clinics at several locations: Canarsie, Cypress Hill, Spring Creek, New Lots, so Bushwick. None quite in this area at this time, but we're currently working on that, so stay tuned. And for any further information, just go to our online, go to brooklynlibrary.org. That's BKLYN library.org, and you can find more information, programming, virtual programming. At this time, people are asking, we don't have any in-house programming, nothing in the libraries at this time, but yet again, we are working on that. As things develop and change, we are hoping to eventually do that. So once again, thanks for the support, and that's all from the Brooklyn Public Library.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you.
Nancy Lulu.
Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone had a great summer. First of all, I would like to extend greetings on behalf of Brooklyn District Attorney Eric Gonzalez. The District Attorney's office is very active, very busy, and is very committed to protecting our Brooklyn communities. Just short and sweet, I would like to also take the opportunity to wish our Jewish neighbors and friends a happy New Year and happy upcoming holidays. I also would like to shout out to the commanding officer, Captain Chen. It was really great seeing you at the Brooklyn Family Festival at the Family Social Adult Care on August 29th. It was really great to be at the Bath Beach neighborhood as well on that day. Also, I would like to remind everyone with the Action Center's phone number, if there's a matter you would like to address with our office, to call 718-250-2340. And if you, I could be reached at lulun@brooklynda.org. And as always, thank you so much to the board, and it's great to see everyone.
Thank you.
Bill, I don't see anyone else.
Okay, can I have a motion to close the public hearing? Okay, Bart, seconded by Sal, all in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. So now we will go on. Can I get a motion to accept the minutes of June 10th? Okay, Jeanette, Jeffrey seconded, all in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, so carried. I'd like to call for a moment of silence before we start the meeting in commemoration, first and foremost, for the lives lost on September 11, 2001, and for Chume Pan, a resident who was killed by a driver while crossing the street at 16th Avenue and 85th Street. So if we can have a moment of silence for all of that, that would be great. Thank you, everyone. Okay, Captain Chen, I saw him here. So Captain Chen, any words of wisdom you have for us? How the feast went, how things are going?
Thank you, Bill. It's great to see everyone back. I mean, as much as I would like to have an in-person meeting, but I'll settle for this. But it's great to see everyone's face again. Rabbi, good to see you again. Shana Tova, and everyone else, happy holiday as well. And if you celebrate or not, next week we're gonna have we're gonna be hosting the Tashlich prayer service for the Jewish people of the Jewish community by the Caesar Spade over there by the bike path. We'll have the light towers there, barriers set up, and we'll have the details for that. And but I'll just be aware for the Tuesday, the 14th. It's going to be some traffic issue over there by exit 5 by over by Bell Parkway. So everyone else, just if you need to navigate around that area, just be mindful. I would like to report, we end our summer on a very, very positive note for the 6-2 community crime-wise. We saw crime being down for like 2 months straight. I mean, for the year, we were still battling the last year's number, which we all understand it's COVID and all that. But for the summer, you see with everything opening back up, we're able to keep the crime number relatively down. We do have to remind people that there's a lot of one of the main crime issue that we're taking over. It's grand larceny or by deception of means frauds and calls, scam calls from credit cards and all that, or pretending to be government officials and stuff. So I'll address those a little bit more come our community council meeting. So everyone who's interested, please join us on September 21st, our precinct community council meeting. Also, I would like to introduce the man to my right, the new executive officer of 62nd precinct, Captain Jared Badillo.
How you guys doing? Good evening.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, it's nice to be here. It's a great precinct and it's a great neighborhood to police. So I'm looking forward to also, like Captain Chen said, in-person meetings so I could get to meet most of all of you guys and get a personal interaction with you guys. But I'm definitely happy to be here and I look forward to working with you guys.
Thank you very much. Good to have you.
Yes.
Thank you.
And he's been a great help. I think a lot of people probably saw him at the 18th Avenue feast when he's out there walking the street, with the cops, and then make sure everyone's having a great time. And and we had a very, very successful feast. I want to say.
Good. Very, very good. Thanks, Cap.
No
All
problem.
righty. So keep safe out there and keep up the good work.
Oh, one more thing.
Yes.
I almost forgot. For Saturday, September 11th, we're gonna have do a little 9/11 memorial outside of the 6-2 precinct as we traditionally do. So if anyone wish to join us for for our ceremony for reading the names of the fallen officers on that day on Saturday morning, everyone's welcome to join us.
Great. Thanks,
Thank
Cap. All right, so I'm going to move on the agenda now. We are happy to have Congresswoman Nicole Maliotakis. She joined us. And Nicole, if you can unmute yourself, and we're happy that you're able to join us because we haven't seen the Staten Island Congress people too much. So you're making a first for us in a long time. So thank you very much, Nicole. We appreciate it. You're muted, Nicole. You're good now. You're good now.
Thank you, Bill. I appreciate you guys having me today. I just wanted to pop on and say hello and just let you know a little bit about what we've been working on our first 7 months in office. As you know, or as you may not know, Lori Windsor, who is one of your members, has been appointed as the Brooklyn director for my congressional office. And so I think that's great for the community board that you guys have already a good relationship with Lori, and definitely want you to keep us informed. She already keeps me informed of a lot of what's happening in your area, but it's definitely great to have her as part of our office. Now, I understand a lot of the issues that the community board is focused on are local issues. You know, the homeless shelter, which is something that Assemblyman Colton has been very vocal against. We've also added our voice against that, and we've been pushing for the new administration that comes into City Hall to abandon Mayor de Blasio's policy towards homelessness, instead reinstate some of the policies that Mayors Giuliani and Bloomberg had in place that actually help people transition out of the shelter system. I think that's really what the issue is here. Despite the city spending more money than ever before on homelessness, the problem has gotten worse because they are basically, you know, just adding more and more people, warehousing people into the shelter system, as opposed to hold on one second, please. Sorry, I'm in a public place and about to record. Okay, so I think with the shelter system, we just wanted to, you know, reinstate some of those programs that were working in transitioning people out of the shelter system, so we're not warehousing them as the mayor has been doing and adding additional shelters, which, you know, we can talk further at another time, but I believe that this is a big gimmick in terms of people who had pay to play with the city and things that I've exposed when I ran for mayor, but we don't need to get into that at that point. And this mayor is, you know, going to be leaving. So the real purpose is to, you know, push the new administration that is coming in to abandon that policy of the 90 new shelters and instead working with us on whether it be supportive housing or you know, welfare to work programs that help transition people out of the system. So the other issue obviously is public safety, another big local issue that the community board is concerned about. And the community board knows that I've been out there very much on supporting our law enforcement, making sure that they have the tools that they need to do their jobs. And I oppose the defund the police movement. We've seen crime increasing as a result of police officers having their hands tied by this administration. But in addition to that, you know, just in general, the bail reform laws that were passed by the state legislature and the governor last year have really made it more difficult to keep public safety because people are being released back onto the streets. That's another one of my big issues, pushing back on that. We got some changes before I left the state legislature, but it's still a major issue that you should all be addressing with your state legislators and city council members. But one of the issues where I think the federal government can come in and be supportive is on infrastructure, investing in infrastructure. And as you know, there is a bipartisan bill in Washington, which right now Nancy Pelosi has held up. But that certainly could be helpful in some of the issues that you may be dealing with in terms of flooding. You didn't have as much flooding as Staten Island did, but it's twofold. The city needs to spend its money more wisely. You know, a $99 billion budget, only a small fraction is going to infrastructure investment, including our sewer system. And so that is one major thing that I've been pushing for with my colleagues locally, a couple of council members that I share a district with. We've been encouraging the city to actually use the taxpayer money we give them to use it towards infrastructure investment, because these are the things that you pay taxes for, right? You pay taxes for public safety, transportation, quality education, and also infrastructure, and yet they seem to be cutting the corners on all these things. And so that's one thing. Now with the federal package, if it does get passed and money trickles down, we can have a bigger conversation on where you think some of that money should be going. But certainly one of those things should be the Belt Parkway and the flooding that is reoccurring there. We need to address that as a community. So in addition to that, I just want to give you just a highlight of some of the things that my office could be helpful with. Obviously, we've helped a lot of people during the COVID pandemic, but, you know, apply for unemployment, for example. But, you know, we've helped about 500 people get passports. There was a big backlog at the Department of State. So if you are somebody who is looking for your passport and you just discovered, if you're going on vacation, by the way, you should check your passport, because I think a lot of people haven't done now. When they're about to leave, they realize it's expired, and it is a very long wait right now. It's like something like 8 weeks turnaround to get your passport. We can expedite that, of course. We've been able to get people passports in just a couple of days, you know, and if you are in that situation, please reach out to our office where we can help you. We've also helped 22 people who had been stuck in bureaucracy and red tape in terms of citizenship, finally get their appointments for interviews or for their swearing in. So you may know somebody in that situation as well. We were able to help get a family out of Afghanistan from Brooklyn who lives here in Brooklyn, and a wife and 3 children. The little one is as young as 1 year, a 1-year-old, out of Afghanistan. You know, there's only 100 or so people left, so you probably don't know anyone now that's there, but that's something else, like in those situations we can help with. And then, you know, I think those are the main things that we've, in terms of constituent services. But any type of issue you may have, you know, Social Security, IRS, people having trouble not getting their, you know, tax return back, things like that, just feel free to reach out to us. We're here to help, and we're happy to help. So if somebody has questions, I'm happy to take a question, or else I'll leave Lori on to you know, continue the meeting, and she always provides
I
me
know
with
you
good
have a meeting. I know you have a meeting at 7:30, so I won't open it up to questions. Lori is here. She'll bring it back to you so you can be on time for your 7:30 meeting, and we don't terrorize you, because we're really very pleased that you took the time to join us, and we don't want to monopolize your time. So thank you so much.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you all. It's always great. I look forward to when we can have the meetings in person, and we could have a better conversation. Thanks
you
so much for having me.
Congresswoman, thank you. We
Bye-bye.
appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so we'll now move on. I'm going to give the chairman's report. So you heard the Congresswoman. We talked about the floods, and I'm sure some of you were even flooded. You know, we've talked about this ad nauseum over the years. We've taken resolutions. We actually gave solutions. You know, the flooding doesn't just happen because it was a once in a 500-year storm. Okay. It happens because you don't plan for it. You know, we've tried, if you noticed, and we've talked about this way back in the early 2000s when it really started to become a real craziness in this neighborhood. And that's with all of these illegal curb cuts and people taking their grass out. Well, remember something, the grass absorbs, okay? And it doesn't run off into the sewer system and into the streets. You know, the city, and if anybody's here from the councilman's office, any of the councilman's office, you got to start to put more teeth to give the Department of Buildings the ability to go and get these violations fixed. People are violated for those illegal driveways, but what happens? They just kick the can down the road. Now, if I'm going to buy a house from Vincent Chirico and he's got that illegal driveway, I like that driveway because it's hard enough to park here. So Vincent says to me, listen, I can put my grass back in, I'll put the curb back in, you don't have the driveway. If you want to accept this building with the violation, so everybody keep kicking the can down the road. I take that violation from Vinny, okay? And we end up having that forever, and it never gets fixed, okay? Our Assemblyman Peter Abadi came up with a very creative solution. You know, everybody's been into, we need more trees. Well, every time there's an illegal curb cut, the city should plant a tree right in front of that illegal curb cut. Now you don't even have to ask them to do the grass because they can't get out. There's a tree blocking that illegal driveway. I'm thinking here, you know, we've wrote over the past 7+ years, it's going to go on 8 years in January, to this mayor's people more times than I want to count. If Marty pulled up the paperwork, you'd see it. All the times we've asked to take resolutions. Do you know, I don't think we ever got a response back on any of our resolutions in all of this time. You know, I think that's sad. I mean, this is the community speaking. I'm going to suggest this, and I ain't even talking with Marty, but it's some of my crazy suggestions at times. we have two mayoral candidates. And I think we should write them both and say, look, you're coming in, there's three. I'm sorry, I forgot about our friend Pepitone. So there's three. And I think we should write, thank you, Russ. We should write to all three and say, you know, these are our concerns, that, you know, these illegal curb cuts lead into these, you know, more water being taken by the sewers. That the sewer system, as the Congresswoman mentioned, the sewer system is not adequate. I understood from somebody in morning, I don't know whether I'm talking fallacy, so cut me off if I'm saying it wrong. We've always talked about the discharge that goes on during these storms, where they discharge the sewer water into our harbor, right? But that's done by a valve. So let's say we had this storm. Now, I know we don't want that water in there. We've always complained about it being there. But how are you going, you know, if somebody's responsible for that and you know this is going to be the storm of the century, open the valve. It's better to being out there than being in your house where you can't get rid of it. So, you know, maybe we need to write all three and say, look, what's going to be your position on the homeless shelter, on tackling these illegal driveways, on tackling, you know, the many issues we've talked about. And so if people feel that's something we want to do, and maybe they'll respond and say, you know, we'd like to have their position before you guys even vote. What's the position? You're community leaders. So and is anybody, are we in agreement with that? I mean, I guess as a show of hands, we don't need a resolution to do that, do we, Marty? Yes, no? Yes. Okay, so Eileen's making a motion. It's seconded by Robert. Is there any more discussion about it?
Yeah, can I comment?
Sure you can.
Yeah, hi, my name is Ruben Borchardt. I'm the newbie here. So I mean, during the storm, I noticed my streets were really flooded, and I think the real issue is just the garbage on top of the drains. I went out myself and I, you know, into the water with my boots, and I just pulled stuff off the drains, and the flooding stopped. I don't think it's an issue of curb cuts. I know that there's a real concern. You alluded to it, that there's a real dearth of parking in the community, and there just aren't enough spots for the cars. I don't think that going after the parking spots is a solution. I think we really need to make sure, especially before a storm is expected, that the litter is clean. Maybe there should be like a special, we hate alternate side, maybe there should be a special street cleaning before a storm, because I think that when when the drains are clean, that there really aren't any floods in our community, in our neighborhood.
So let me stay with that point, because it's a good point. Part of it, and maybe this is something we suggest, you know, these are on corners, and the homeowners that are on those corner houses, okay? You know, maybe they get some sort of tax break to, not have to be a big one, but that they have to maintain that sewer during storms. In other words, to get it clear, because what happens is this, yes, you're right. We end up cleaning a drain before the storm, but it's really in the middle of the storm when it took debris from down a block and put it there of why it clogs. I mean, it used to be a lot better a system. I think the other parts are, I don't know when the last time you saw DEP come and clean your sewer.
Right, it's all over the block. It just, as the water, you know, moves toward the sewer, it brings all the garbage.
Come and actually clean the sewer system out, which means that it creates more depth. It's not that it's seeping through it. So I think they have to go on a better maintenance schedule. So I'm going to have Marty put something together just to talk about a number of issues. But, you know, this community, we shouldn't stay silent. We just shouldn't stay silent and say, okay, well, that happens. It didn't happen to me. It happened to my neighbor. It doesn't matter. It does matter, because this is why we're here. We have to advocate for this community. So I agree.
Bill?
I get it.
Bill, it's Lori. I just want you to know that Monty is stuck. She can't unmute herself, so I think she's going to try to call in.
Okay. All right. So thank you very much. So she can hear me. So whatever we can do here to at least put these people that are running for office before they're there, because they get there and sometimes it becomes the same behaviors. I mean, I've lived a little too long through many politicians. So, you know, you promise the moon and then you get this like, oh, well. So let's put them on a spot ahead of time so we can always pull this out of the, out of the files and say, hey, you said this when you were running for campaign. How come we're not doing anything about it? So that's number one. Number two, we've gotten some calls from people. You're seeing the city's trying to ameliorate things by putting these flower pots in. You've seen them come doing the drawings in front of people's houses. They're called, they're like drains. They're like dry wells. And I'm going to be asking Marnie because I've gotten a lot of different feedback on what these will look like. Early on, when we were briefed as a board, it was going to be that it would be a flower box and the water would seep through. Now it's supposed to be more ground level with permeable cement where it would be curb level. So Marnie will be checking that and we'll go from there. Are you back on, Marnie? Okay. We said we wanted to cut down the Santa Rosalia feast and the number of days. We got overruled, but we will be meeting with them to discuss next year's event. And that's my report. So Marnie, you're on the air. I guess you can't. You still can't come in?
Bill, can I just make that we actually also send that to all the city council people that are running, that are going to be elected, that we send the same letter that we're doing to the mayoral candidates to our local representatives to see what their position is on stuff that we need.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. Marnie, can you unmute yourself or talk, or you can't? You could just nod your head or no.
I am unmuted.
Okay, good.
Thank you. I am so
All right.
sorry.
Big district manager's report.
Yes. So I, just one moment. So I just want to speak about the infrastructure portion. I couldn't participate really. I was afraid to sign off and come back in because the live stream is through my account. And I really thought it was important for the public to be able to watch the meeting in a whole. I just want to say it's not, I just want to clarify. It's not so much the curb cuts that are parts of the piece of the puzzle as it relates to stormwater retention and absorption. It is the removal of the front yards of all the grass areas and putting cement in. The city doesn't have permeable concrete to absorb that rain. So where does it go? If you remember when Bloomberg was in office, he put out this, like at the time, I think it was the 2030 or the 2050 plan to try and remove that. The fact of the matter is that our sewer system is antiquated. We build, we grow. The population of this city is at an all-time high, but we haven't expanded that. And whatever we can do to divert that water from the sewer system is great for the neighborhood. It's great for the environment. Because I'm going to get into my report, I'll jump around a little bit. We have had complaints come into this office, and depending upon where the members live, you will smell, especially on Bath Avenue in the vicinity of Bay 16th Street, Bay 17th Street, 17th Avenue, the smell of raw sewage, and it permeates the community. And we have been going back and forth with DEP over the cause. And they were claiming at one point the cause was due to washout. The pipe comes in, the water, the sea level, the CSO pipe is located on 17th Avenue in Gravesend Bay. It's called outfall OH15. And what happens is when the sewer system reaches the capacity, right, it takes storm water and waste and discharges it into the bay. Now, we have regulators in the community, and one of them is located on Bath Avenue. and Bay 16th Street. And what's happening is that regulator controls whether the waste goes to Owl's Head or goes out to Gravesend Bay. And we have been going back and forth, and I'm just giving an update. I know it gets a little long-winded and it could be confusing. The board has taken this up many years, and we have advocated in our capital and expense budget to look at some of the causes. And we've been given stories, like I said, from washout, from the tide going in and out, to that there is a flap on the regulator that lets the sewage go into the odor into the community, and they were working on a design fix. I think we're now at 10 years where we have been going back and forth on this issue. And last December, we had reached out as a board. We asked DEP to come to the board to discuss the concerns there. Because in early December or late November, there was an executive report release that showed there's approximately and I may be off on my numbers, I don't have it in front of me, but 1.2 million gallons of sewage is discharged into Gravesend Bay. That's not washout to me. We have a problem there. And the residents on Bath Avenue and the businesses, I mean, I feel bad for these businesses there. It's food service. I don't know how people will want to go into their establishments to eat with that odor. We have invited DEP to meet with the Sanitation Environment Committee. We have gotten no response. So I'm going to suggest, because I have taken it basically as far as I can go, we invite the commissioner to the next board meeting to explain to the board what exactly is going on there, if you want to entertain that, Bill.
Yes, we would like to invite the commissioner. Do I have everybody's support? All in favor? Any
Aye.
opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, so ask the commissioner to come down. If you get them, we owe you a steak dinner if you get them.
Will do. And speaking of infrastructure and permeability, the Department of Design and Construction has retained consultants to implement and develop the preliminary and final design documents for green infrastructure for Gravesend Bay Tributary Area Phase 3 for the CSOs. The project is in the preliminary design phase and is scheduled for bid in fiscal year 2024, with construction targeted to commence in fall of 2024. So DDC will design and construct porous pavement, which is a special roadway paving that is designed to collect and manage stormwater that runs off the streets and sidewalks when it rains. During construction, residents can expect a portion of the asphalt to be removed in the parking lane, and the material underneath will be excavated and replaced with stone, which allows for infiltration. The asphalt is then replaced with porous concrete panels. So the proposed locations are limited in the northern portion of the district towards the border of Borough Park, from 17th Avenue to 20th in the low 60s. And that's because down towards Bath Beach, we call it like a bowl effect. It's higher. The elevation is much higher towards the northern and towards Dyker. So if you prevent that waterfall this way, it'll prevent the flooding, and we'll try and remove that. And that's what I have. Oh, I just want to give a quick update. Another issue that we have been working on relating to 86th Street between Bay Parkway and 23rd Avenue. And it relates to the vendors, both stores and general merchandise, that have taken over that small corridor. I've been working with Councilman Traeger, the mayor's office, Consumer and Workforce Protection to address the community complaints. And I am sure we will have inspections in the near future along that corridor. We have businesses actually selling their wares in the parking truck loading areas. And they've taken up over 24 feet of sidewalk space. So we are addressing that, and I'll have updates in the future.
Great.
That's it for me.
And Marty, just an addendum to my report. We're beginning to look at our fiscal 2023 budget cycle. Is going to be coming up, for our capital and expense budgets. But we will have a public hearing to talk about it. Okay, so now we'll move on. Any new business? Any old business first, then we'll do new business. Any old? Any new?
Yes,
Okay, hearing
yes, I'd like
none,
to say something, Bill, this
yeah,
is Sonia.
Go ahead.
Okay, first of all, we want to thank all the residents and the organizations that came to National Night Out. It was a huge success, so we thank you now. I also put on the chat room the link for our community council meeting on September the 21st, which is Tuesday at 7:30. There is also a scam going on in email. I got a quote bill from Maimonides Hospital,
Right.
which I have not been to in some months. And they say they sent me a bill, hit the link for information. And I'm assuming they want to get my credit card information, or maybe it's something where they're gonna do something to my computer. I don't know, but I think people should be aware. If you get a bill and you're not expecting it, you haven't been to that hospital or that place, don't click onto any link, otherwise you'll be in a lot of trouble. That's it.
Thanks, Sonia. Okay, so,
Chairman,
yeah, go ahead, go, Dr. Law. yeah.
okay, I just want to make a short announcement. This is Sunday, September 12th, 11 o'clock at Seflo Park. We have summer festival. We have folk dance, Tai Chi, and singing. I give out free school bag too. Everybody welcome. Okay, 11 o'clock, please. Captain Chen, are you here, Captain Chen?
I think he's off now.
Okay, forget it. I just try to ask the time.
I'm
What
here,
time for the
Dr. Law.
Captain
There
Chen?
he is,
What
there
time
he
for
is,
the
there he is.
September
He's still on.
11th, the Saturday morning? What time for the event?
It'll be
Before that.
Saturday morning will be what time we started? 8:30, right? Yeah, we're gonna be set it up before the time when the first tower hit, which will be like a little bit before 8:30. And then with 8:35 we will warm up, and then we're gonna read the names, all that
Okay.
stuff. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
If anyone wants to come by and join us now, for our our memorial tribute, and then more than welcome.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other new business? Okay, hearing none.
Can I add one thing?
Yes.
Yeah. Good evening. I'm Jay Brown. I'm also a new member. I know we already kind of moved past the whole flooding issue, but there's a lot of good ideas in terms of it is obviously a problem with the grass being removed, reducing absorption, cleaning out the gutters. The fact is that the sewer system is 100 years old, and it's operating on the way we used to get rain 100 years ago, and obviously it can't handle the record amount of rain we just received recently, which was a record that had just been set a few weeks before. A month's worth of rain in a few hours. So I know a lot. There was also mention from about the bioswales. I know that that's the actual technical name for them. I think the city refers to them as rain gardens.
Right.
And I know sometimes people don't like the aesthetics of them, but I know there are, different options for that. So I know they help a lot with reducing, what goes into the sewer system, and, reduces that overflow that ultimately ends up in Gravesend Bay. So, anything we could do to get more information from the correct departments about, those opportunities to put those in a way that appeals to the community, I think it'll help a lot.
You got it, Jay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, so for our Jewish friends, enjoy the rest of the holidays. And it was a Shana Tova for Rosh Hashanah, but I don't know the rest of the Hebrew for the rest of the holidays. So in any event, we wish you all the best. And we'll see you here next month, second Thursday. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Jay, seconded by Bart. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? God bless everybody. See you soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
Andrew, and